Air Force Captain Jeffrey Robles and Lieutenant Michael Luft are about to take command of more firepower than has been expended in the history of war. 100 nuclear warheads. Combined yield about 3,000 times the bomb that destroyed Hiroshima.
This is Captain Robles. It's ready to authenticate.
Robles and Luft, from a bunker beneath the Wyoming range, will control 10 MX missiles, each buried in a concrete silo. Each missile has 10 warheads. Each warhead can be sent to a different target. The most likely targets are similar silos commanded by similar crews 6,000 miles away in the Soviet Union.
Receive a message.
This is a rehearsal for an MX launch. The United States is deploying 50 MX missiles after a decade-long debate that became one of the most contentious of the nuclear age. The debate centered on what nuclear missiles are really for.
This time we have a good preamble.
I agree.
We'll go to TAC launch.
Are they solely weapons of retaliation, their only purpose to survive long enough to obliterate Soviet society in a spasm of all-out nuclear war? Or are they precision weapons, lightning-fast, superbly accurate, designed to fight and win a nuclear duel?
Mine's inserted.
Mine is
Step
also.
one is complete.
I agree.
Auto manual switch. Auto is in A.
Okay, I have a good print.
Okay, applique launch option is 0162 on the LVP. We'll go ahead and set up the enable values.
Okay, I'll set them up and read them back to you.
Okay. I show uniform Lima Charlie 2 Delta 2.
We're down and locked.
Okay, I'm going to enable all in all. I've got enable all in all.
Okay, monitor for prints.
Okay, I'm getting enables across the board. Got enables across the board. On my mark.
Hands on keys.
3, 2, 1. Mark. 0 for 5, 4, 3, 2.
If Soviet warheads arrive before the missiles have left their silos, then America's most powerful weapon will be lost in the first few moments of a nuclear war. The MX debate revolved around whether that vulnerability matters. The decision to deploy 50 MX missiles here in silos was the result of a compromise typical of the nuclear age, where weapons are instruments of politics as well as strategy.
I wish I had the wisdom to know that everything was perfect, but I've got to have the confidence that whoever made the decision to put it in this basing mode was right, and that they knew what they were doing.
Peace is our profession. SAC's motto and its emblem are representative of its dual mission: to help maintain peace on our terms, and if deterrence fails, to counter aggression with devastating retaliation.
1960. The voice is General Thomas Powers, Chief of the Strategic Air Command, spelling out the task of America's small force of short-range nuclear-tipped missiles. Then just coming into the force, the first intercontinental ballistic missiles.
First of SAC's operational ICBMs is the Atlas. The intercontinental ballistic missile can deliver a nuclear warhead to a target over 5,500 miles away in some 30 minutes.
The Atlas had the range, but it was so inaccurate that it could only hurl its single large warhead in the direction of Soviet cities. Still, along with SAC's bombers, it served its purpose.
The unmatched combination of SAC's unique organization, its weapon systems, bombers, missiles, and its men will continue to be the free world's most convincing argument for peace. For only the threat of devastating retaliation can keep potential aggressors from starting a nuclear holocaust.
Devastating retaliation was the only option the Air Force had, but it wasn't one its officers liked.
soldiers don't get any pleasure out of killing civilians. All of their objectives are to try to attack the military or the infrastructure of an organization that they're at war with. The idea is not to kill all the people in a given nation, but to render that nation unable to continue the war.
1970, and the new Minuteman III brought the Air Force closer to its dream of being able to disarm the other side. The missile's 3 warheads could each be sent to different targets, and it was more accurate than the older ICBMs. Accurate enough to threaten Soviet missile command bunkers, perhaps even Soviet missiles themselves in their protective silos. And there were other targets for more accurate missiles. From early in the nuclear age, the U.S. and its NATO allies have planned to use nuclear weapons in the face of an unstoppable Soviet invasion of Europe. Missiles able to pick off military targets, like tank staging areas, made that policy more believable, or so it was argued.
We had to be able to employ nuclear weapons against a hypothetical Soviet attack in such a way that would not lead logically to the destruction of American cities, and therefore it must avoid logically the destruction of Soviet cities, which would inevitably set off such a Soviet response.
So began the concept of a limited nuclear war, in which only military targets would be attacked. The improving technology of ICBMs made possible a change in strategy. No longer need nuclear deterrence be based on an all-or-nothing response to Soviet aggression. The question then, and now, was whether a limited nuclear war would stay limited.
Some people feel that escalation is immutable, that it will happen no matter what if the other side is well equipped. Most of us, military commanders, cannot afford to think that. We must concentrate on how to fight a limited nuclear war, because we don't want to have a self-fulfilling prophecy. Just because we can fight total nuclear war, we want to make damn sure that that isn't the only thing we can do, or we'll take us to that Armageddon as sure as the Lord made little green apples, because there's no other way. So we must have alternatives to total nuclear conflict, and we do have. And we practice them. Whether they'll work or not, nobody knows.
Despite, or arguably because of this uncertainty, the United States announced a change in its nuclear targeting policy in January 1974.
The intent is more effective deterrence of the possibility of strategic warfare, because it is known by all parties that the President of the United States has options other than the devastating option of going against the cities on the other side.
At that time, we really did not have the capability to do the kinds of things that our new philosophy specified. Our new philosophy demanded high accuracy and a large number of weapons to attack the various crucial targets with minimum collateral damage and with sufficient force to penetrate the hardness of those targets. I recall that Secretary Schlesinger said, by the way, our new policy is not going to be an excuse for you guys to go out and ask for a whole bunch of new capability.
But new capability was exactly what the Air Force felt it needed. Its 550 Minuteman IIIs of the total 1,054 missile ICBM force just didn't add up to enough warheads to target all the new Soviet missiles that had begun to appear by 1940.